Circa 430 BCE, the Eastern Mediterranean world. A Greek traveler in a land unfamiliar to him stops and rests at a thermal bath. His body is tired from his adventures, but his mind is always at work. He prepares his pen to continue his work on a piece of writing that he has been working on since his travels began. It was originally meant to be a travel guide, but upon hearing more and more from locals in the places he goes to about the rising Persian Empire, he understood that he was in a unique position to record events from different perspectives and to inquire into the causes of major events. This man's name is Herodotus, and his inquiry, or Historiae, will become the foundations for a larger field of study known today as history. That is how Herodotus came to be known as the father of history. That's not to say there were no records of the past before him. Myths and legends and lists of rulers could be found in many cultures at the time. But Herodotus gathered and analyzed primary sources from first-hand accounts and arranged his data into a larger narrative. In his approach, Herodotus began the transition that turned history from myth-making to the foundations of a scientific study. At his core, Herodotus was a storyteller, and he used his data to weave together a grand story that would captivate his readers for centuries to come. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Commander Radix, and welcome to the Radix Academy channel. This video here is meant to serve as an introduction and as a sort of mission statement to what this channel, the Radix Academy channel, is all about. But first, a little introduction about myself. I was born in the southern United States at the height of the Pax Americana. I have cultural and heritage ties to the southern culture, as well as to Okinawa, an island across the world in the Ryukyu island chain. I love history, and I studied history in college before moving from the south to Okinawa in 2019. During my study of history and my time in college, I came face to face with the academic establishment in the study of history, and to be honest, it was so boring and self-critical that college almost made me lose my love of history. College in history was all about finding myths and stories that were fundamental to cultures and then tearing them down, highlighting inaccuracies, and then interpreting the myths to be a root of social issues reflected in the modern day. In the dogma of my college, the past was always a worse place than the present in every way, and there was nothing of value that could be learned or appreciated from it. The past was used to criticize those who went against our current order and the ideas of the now. This self-deprecating history is not why I love history. I believe that there is something to be learned from history, both in the pragmatic and in the romanticist sense. In not just looser histories, but even in deep, source-based histories, there are tales that can inspire you and make you thrive to be better than you are now. History exists to build us up. It doesn't exist for us to tear it down. There is no value in constantly destroying, which is what I often see in today's historical circles and academia. There is much more value in learning. I graduated college and still managed to keep my love for history, and now I want to maintain that flame and share what I learn with you all. And that is what brings us to Radix Academy. This channel will be used to use my professional skills in analyzing sources and doing history to create thoroughly researched historical documentaries to help us understand the people and the world around us in a style that people can enjoy and reflect my own view on what history should be about. These documentaries will be created through intensive and extensive research through books, primary sources, academic journals, and so on. But While I will use historical methodology for my research, the final product might not be the fully objective product academics might expect. Well, when I say objective, I mean in the academic sense of the word, with tables on tables of exports of the Spanish Empire's wheat supply in 1752. Objective often simply means cold or detached in the academic world. I will be using the historical method alongside looking at other texts and sources of information that have fallen out of style in the cold historiography of modern academia. Myths, myth-making, legends, and religion are all key features of history that have simply been removed from the field in recent years, but to fully understand the past, we must understand these legends as they were how the people of the past understood their lives and reality. These beliefs influence history in more ways than you might expect, and so they must be included in historical studies. In addition, more often than not, these legends represent a vague memory of a historical event in the past, such as how the Trojan War may have been an impetus for the late Bronze Age collapse, or how Noah's flood could be reflected through the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, where an asteroid strike on the Earth in the Ice Age caused a quick evaporation of its glaciers, resulting in a sudden and catastrophic rise in sea level. History serves us better when we can remember it than when we cannot remember it, and because of this, it is important to create a historical narrative that has characters and themes. Cold historiography does very little to improve our own way of life and the world itself. It does not improve our historical memory. Quite frankly, it's boring, which means not only that it will be forgotten, but in a sense, it is inaccurate because real life itself has a spice and emotion to it that academics often forget. I guarantee that most people's historical knowledge goes back to things like movies and shows rather than the primary sources themselves. This is why the documentaries produced for this channel will use the historical method and weave together primary and secondary sources and the context of myth into a passionate narrative to be the most effective. The academic style of cold historiography is, for one, not attainable, as it is impossible to understand life from a purely objective lens, and two, simply unrealistic. In an ironic way, the efforts by academia to create an unfanciful and objective history is in itself a fanciful and unrealistic interpretation of history. Why make history stale when life is not? Unlike my main channel, Commander Radix, where I try to release videos about the lore of the Transformers franchise every week, things will be different for Radix Academy. Videos will be completed whenever they're completed to ensure quality. There will be a focus on research and narrative building to understand the world, and because of that, I want to ensure that I have enough time to do proper research with multiple sources. Rushing that process to fit a schedule is not a good idea. I expect long spaces of time between uploads. Likewise, as there is a heavy focus on the script, please don't expect much from the editing of the videos itself. I have tried to make heavily edited history videos in the past, and it always turned into projects that I was too ambitious with. I'm not a major channel like Kings and Generals. It's just me over here, and I can't animate beautiful maps like they can. And I can't even do the fundamental animation that Dovahadi does for his amazing unbiased History of Rome series. In addition to this, as things become relevant, I may re-upload some older history videos I had done from the Commander Radix channel over to this channel as well. Some videos may work on revised versions of the scripts from other videos. For example, my Commander Radix's American History series has some episodes blocked in most countries, and is missing some information that I have found since, so it is very possible I might rework a new video that recycles a lot from those videos. My Reunification of China series also needs some script reworking and research for me to be willing to continue it, and its animation style is simply unsustainable, so videos that rework those scripts could be released as well. There is no geographical or cultural or temporal focus to this channel. For some reason, I have difficulty disconnecting history into national or cultural histories or histories of specific time periods. One video could be the Napoleonic Wars' impact in Persia, the next could be looking at the peopling of the Americas, and another on the Pygmy tribes of Africa, followed by a documentary on the United States Constitutional Convention. Hopefully, one day, I will have built a large library of videos that will help you get a wide range of information about the history of the natural world and the history of mankind. In addition to this, I do want to try a long-form history series at some point. So, I welcome all of you to Radix Academy, who wish to learn more about history and the world around you. Please consider subscribing to receive updates on when I upload a new video. I already have an idea about what I want to talk about next video, but I'll keep quiet on that since I don't want to lose motivation and do something completely different. Thank you all so much for watching and coming with me on this trip through history.